Greetings, fellow divers. It's the Game Pack Preacher here, coming to you from beneath the corpse of a charger while my team is fighting for their lives. But despite my predicament, I've been stupidly pilled on Helldivers lately. This game has been a massive hit and it deserves every ounce of its success. However, there is something that threatens the spread of democracy, and I'm not talking about the bugs or the bots. There's talk of an insurgent group among our own ranks, an extremist cell that wants you to play by their rules and only dispense freedom in the most efficient manner. As much as this game has been gathering attention, all that attention isn't always a good thing. And it says a whole lot when the worst part of a game ends up being the community of that game. So let's have a discussion about Helldivers, min-maxing culture, and general hopes for the future. It's not like I'm going anywhere anyway. So if you somehow don't know about this game, Helldivers 2 is the newest multiplayer sensation sweeping the nation. It's a third-person co-op shooter where you and 3 of your friends spread democracy and liberation for the glory of Super Earth. To accomplish this, you all employ weapons, structures, and orbital ordnance to squash vicious bugs and deadly robots alike. And you have quite the selection of democratic tools at your selection. Unfortunately, not all these tools can be made equal. Even I'll admit some of them aren't really useful, but for the most part, you can accomplish your task with whatever you deem fit. But a certain faction of divers seem to think otherwise, and have made it their mission to enforce their will on others, or shun them from their groups. Granted, there have been efforts from high command to curb this, what with balance patches and whatnot, but there are still those who cling to the BRS meta. Hell, some people are trying to make a new meta to follow and kicking those who don't follow it. This behavior is extremely undemocratic, and aside from that is just the latest instance of something that's been bothering me about gaming as a whole, so we need to talk about So listen, I've been in this gaming pit for a long while. I'm no stranger to metas and all that good stuff. Any competitive game is going to have a meta. That's just the nature of the beast. People want to win and they're going to find the thing that allows them to win the most often. But the key word in that phrase is competitive. Helldivers is completely PvE. We are all on the same side doing the same mission, and as long as that mission gets done, you really shouldn't care about what other people bring. And contrary to popular belief, the weapons that did end up getting nerfed are still perfectly usable. Even outside of any balancing discussion, this is a team game for a reason. You cannot possibly equip for every single scenario you may run into. That's what the other 3 democratic bodies in your team are for. If everyone is running the exact same thing, there are going to be holes in your strategy, regardless of how good the loadout may be. There are very few options in this game I would consider useless, and even with those being present in the game is going to get patched later on. And if me and my crew can get through a Helldive, trust me, you and yours can get through one too. I really don't get how we as gamers got to this point where everything just has to be optimized, you know? The age of information has brought many benefits with it, but it has also brought many detriments, and one of those detriments is this ever-increasing push for optimization in games. You always need the strongest build, the fastest route, the most efficient path, and so on, and I'm just like, why? Unless you're trying to do a speedrun or something, it's not like it's a race. And then what just happened to discovery, to experimenting and theory crafting? Even with Helldivers specifically, half the fun is unlocking new stuff and seeing what works or what you can get away with, at least to me. This has just been something that's bugging me for a while, and I mean, you can play a game however you want, but in a multiplayer setting that comes with a couple of caveats. 1, not everyone else is going to want to run what you are, and 2, not everyone is going to care about what you care about either. Like, we have people out here min-maxing stuff like Minecraft and Stardew. Like, if that's how you have fun in your games, more power to you, but it's just something I cannot wrap my head around. I like to win, believe me, sometimes a bit too much, but I also like to have fun. Sometimes you have to lock in, but when you have to lock that deep in, I don't know, that's just a problem to me, and my days of doing that are long over, because trust me, that slope is slippery and angled way downward. So I guess what I'm ultimately trying to say is to stop being such fuddy-duddies when it comes to your fellow Helldivers. The reasons like what we talked about, that balancing for even a PvE game is important, because when something solves 90% of your problems, you aren't going to bother with much else. I've been trying a lot of new things with the patches, and even I realized I've been sleeping on a lot of options. The autocannon bangs, by the way. There's no one way to spread democracy. It only matters that democracy is spread, and considering the threats that have been being discovered and those that are yet on the way, you may just discover that what you thought was best may not get the job done. Do what works for you, but always remember that you serve a higher calling. Now get back out there, soldier, and shoot a charger in the face for me. Or a devastator, because fuck those guys too. And I guess that'll do it for another video. I know it's different from my normal content, but like I said, I've been knee-deep in this game ever since it launched. Honestly, if you want to see more Helldivers stuff, just let me know in the comments down below. I wouldn't mind doing it. Anyway, more to come as always. Be well until then.